My name's Mark Daly. I'm the managing attorney for CINA, the Community of Immigration and Naturalization Attorneys. And these are our immigration lawyer training videos. So welcome. I'm going to give you some background on how these videos came about and why I'm doing them. I've been doing immigration law now for about 15 years. I started off as a paralegal for my mom, who was an immigration lawyer. And I was her paralegal while I was going to law school. And I learned a lot about immigration forms and filings and clients. And in law school, I also learned a lot about, the law, And I realized when I was in law school that I loved immigration law, but I also wanted to know more about what was out there. So after I graduated from law school, I started working in a construction law firm. And I realized that I did not like construction law. And I went back to immigration law. And after those couple years doing construction law, I've never turned back. I've focused on immigration law. And I really love immigration law. Immigration law allows me to help people in a way that wasn't available to me in other areas of the law. We get in partnership with our clients, and we're in partnership with them for a very long time, and we're bringing them in and gaining them a benefit. It's different from litigating around another party, and it's not so adversarial, and I really appreciate that, and I really love that about immigration law. Now, immigration law is also one of the most complicated areas of law because you've got the laws, you also have the regulations, right? Those are set up by Congress and by the Department of Justice. And then you've also got the embassies, and they have their rules, right? And then you have the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, and they have their rules, right? And then you've got the immigration courts, and they have their rules, and they change all the time, The main rules, the laws, have to be changed by Congress, and so those haven't changed in a while. But the regulations come and go and change a lot. So one of the things that keep people out of immigration law is when they start to dive into it, they realize, I can't remember all this stuff. Well, I'm here to tell you that I can't remember all this stuff either. Part of the training is going to teach you a way of practicing immigration law to where you don't have to remember all this stuff. You're going to have support in finding the research, being able to do the research quickly, in front of your client, in the context of a needs assessment. When they come in, they're going to pay you to actually do research on their case real time. This model is so rewarding because you get to build rapport with your client, but then the client gets to actually see you do the research. A lot of attorneys feel like they have to sit down and know everything about the law or their client's not going to like them. I find that to be not the case. In the way that I teach how to practice immigration law, we're bringing them in, we're being in partnership with them, and we're setting a fee while we're doing the research, and they're going to pay us to actually do all that. So what happens is we create a system, a business model then, where the clients come in, we do the research for the client right there. We make a roadmap of what we're going to be doing for the client, and then we're going to set the fee right there. All in one shot. And the clients get a lot of value on the front end. They get to see us practice law. They get to know who we are as people, and it builds a lot of confidence in them. So these immigration training videos then are going to go into the substance of the law. We're going to go through the law. We're going to read the law together. We're also going to go into the substance of the procedures, and we're going to see how to do this stuff and how to know when it's changing, right? And that way you start to build up good habits where you're checking the law and checking the procedures as part of every case that you do. We're also going to talk about fee setting. And fee setting is very, very important because with immigration law, it's almost like a social worker kind of law. I checked on the internet what was the average salary for an immigration lawyer, and it came back $48,000 a year. That is very low in my opinion, especially when you compare what other attorneys are making out there, and you compare what the cost of a legal education is. So it's very important then when you're working in immigration law to set a reasonable fee and It's also very important, I believe, to use a flat fee or a fixed fee. And the reason is because it builds so much goodwill between you and your client. Your client's going to know how much the case is going to cost. And that is such an important thing for building rapport between you and your client so that they trust you. So this way you're setting a fee, and we're going to teach you and coach you on how to set the fees. Another big part of this training then is also going to be around the business systems. You know, this training, we have 3 different trainings. We have the family immigration training, we have a business immigration training, and we have a detention and removal immigration training. The most lucrative part of immigration law, and what I consider to be the most rewarding part, is the family-based immigration law. So the first video is the family-based immigration law, and in it we show all the business systems for actually setting up an immigration law office. So we have a part on management. We have a lot of information on how to build a management compartment of immigration law office, which is basically putting together an operations manual, having things measurable, having it so you can actually understand where you're going in your immigration law, and set up systems that can be replicated time and time and time and be performed by a number of people who come and go in and out of your office. The other system is the money system, and we spend a lot of time on money system because knowing where your money's coming from 6 months out is the goal. You've got to be able to anticipate when you're going to have ebbs and flows in your cash flow, especially when you're working on fixed fees. So the money system is a big one we cover in the first family. We're also going to do a marketing piece where you understand how to set up a marketing system that's going to work for you. We're also going to look at what we call the client fulfillment piece, which is how to create sample letters and replicable documents that are going to help you raise the bar on your own performance, because you can modify these documents, and as you learn more you can change them. And guess what? Part of this tutorial is going to give you a lot of free extra documents. We're going to empty up our vault of sample forms, sample letters, sample pleadings, and make them available to you so you have a leg up in starting your company. One of the other parts of the immigration practice that we're going to look at is leadership, because you are going to be the leader of your immigration practice, and it's going to be very important for you to lead from a place of confidence and a place from actually your higher calling. Because what happens is that leaders who are not sure of why they're doing what they're doing do not lead effectively. So we're going to do some processes to get you really grounded and really centered in your practice as an expression of who you are as a person. There are so many different ways that you can practice immigration law, and when it reflects your personal values, other people can get enrolled in that way of practicing immigration law and give you the support that you need. So this is a big part of the leadership for doing the immigration law training, so that from here on out you're going to be leading your workers and you're going to be practicing immigration law in a way that is in alignment with your higher values. One of the reasons why I also decided to do this training was I didn't feel that there was any adequate training to actually help people learn how to practice immigration law. There are many organizations that give seminars on immigration law, and I've been to all of them. And when you have a level of mastery in immigration law, they are great, because you're getting networking with people, you're hearing the latest cases, the latest stuff. But what they don't offer is an actual hands-on and step-by-step approach to how to do the basic things. They can't teach you that. I mean, you can go to a convention or a seminar where they have a 1-hour slot where they're going to cover everything that I cover in 3 days. So that just goes to show you the type of general information you're going to get at one of these seminars. So what happened for me was I would walk out of the seminar when I was first getting started. I was totally confused. I really felt bad. I felt, oh my God, I don't know anything. I'm so stupid. So what I'm presenting here then is an opportunity for you to actually learn by doing. And I got an email from a man on one of the listservs who said, is there an attorney that I can just follow behind for a week so I can learn how to practice law? And that's when the lights went off. And I responded to him and said, yes, come and follow me. I'll show you, because I really wanted someone to do that for me when I was just starting out. And as we started to work together, this whole training course started to develop. And that is why I'm presenting it to you like it is right now. I've trained many, many attorneys in how to be an immigration lawyer. And these attorneys have pretty much come from different backgrounds of the law. I've trained criminal lawyers, I've trained civil litigators, I've trained a lot of family lawyers, tax lawyers, who are dissatisfied with their practice and have dabbled in immigration, looked at immigration, and gotten really interested in immigration. These trainings have been very small trainings, and they're very intense. What we do is we go through actual cases with actual, passports, actual birth certificates, actual marriage certificates, so that these attorneys get the hands-on feel for what it is to actually prepare an immigration submission. And that's for the family, that's for the business, it's also for the criminal stuff. We do complete deportation cases. They kept asking me though, can't you take this online? Is there any way that we can do an online course for us? Because it's such a hassle to travel and spend 3 days nonstop on one of your trainings. So it is in response to that question coming over and over again that I have designed these tutorials. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to be working with you in a one-to-one consultation to start out with, because I need to know where every attorney who's taking this course is actually coming from and what your goals are. Because what we have to do as presenters of this information is make sure that your goals are met by this information. So we'll start with a consultation, and that'll give me an opportunity to meet you and get you clear about how you can best use these materials to achieve your goals. Then you will be using the video tutorials to go through all of the law, all of the procedures, and start to build your applications. At that point, you're going to have questions. And this is the thing that I could never get around was when we're doing this stuff, the questions come up in the trainings, and I'm there to answer each question as it comes up. And that gives so much value to the people who are actually taking these courses, because they get to answer their questions as they're going. So if I'm not there, how am I going to do it? Well, we are going to be using a series of webinars to do the question answering part as you're going through this process. So we will be able then to meet all of your requirements and get all your questions answered in a timely way. So that's the other piece, is that as you're doing these processes and doing these petitions and all the filings you're going to be creating, real world examples, right? We'll also have opportunities to answer all of your questions. And that's my commitment, is to make sure that all your questions are answered, okay? Then you're going to be sending me your work product, and I will review your work product, and then we will have a concluding consultation where I will talk about what you gained, what other unanswered questions you have, and I'll give you feedback on your work product. And that is how these immigration law trainings are actually going to flow.